everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, we're going to do a long one. Before the spoiler video later today on the channel, be sure to check that out at 1 p.m. Eastern, as you can see right above me. We are going to do a day one spoiler recap video for you. Now, I have most of the spoilers on here, and I'm going to try to give credit where credit's due for all of these, but I'm going to attempt to go through everyone just to kind of give you a rundown on like which spoilers were what. At the time of this recording, it's 11:30 at night my time, and for day one spoilers or technical day one spoilers, we don't have Dalen Mack yet. He hasn't put his out yet. Fabry hasn't put theirs out in Stackswell. So there's only 3 that I haven't seen. I would wait, but they were I'm assuming they're like doing last touches, but they were gonna come out at 11, but they haven't came out yet, and I want to go to sleep. So I'm not going to make it go too long, but we do have a whole slew of other ones tomorrow. But at any rate, I will try to give credit where credit's due on every single spoiler that I can. However, down in the comments below, I'll have a link to this on the February website, which shows you the spoiler schedule, even for tomorrow or today as you're watching this video. It shows you all the revealed cards with their numbers, which is really nice. It gives you the set breakdown, which is really cool. And then finally a little thing to their February spoiler, which is pretty funny. So really good for this. I'll also link the LSS website, which has a link to everyone's YouTube channel, including mine. So make sure you go follow everyone on this list, big or small, doesn't matter. Even on Monday, they're doing some box openings. Definitely go follow all those. It'd be really awesome to watch them and support every single creator on this list if you can. If you really love the game, I highly encourage you to support every single creator, okay? But we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put this over here so maybe I can like look over and try to give credit to each and every individual creator that spoiled something. So first one we have is Infiltrate. Infiltrate was spoiled by Little Uzi. She does really cool shorts content, or like not shorts content, but short form video content. And she also does really good cosplays. And she did a full cosplay of this. So definitely go check it out. It's really awesome. She spoiled an assassin attack action called Infiltrate. It has stealth. When it hits a hero, banish the top card of their deck. You may play it until the end of your next turn. This is just a really fun card if you can get it to hit, because you just banish the top card off your opponent's deck and be able to play it. If you're playing Briar, you can play Channel Mount Heroic right on your turn if you wanted to. Obviously, it won't stay around, but it's really funny. Or you can play Channel Lake Frigid for a turn. It's just really funny interactions. Honestly, though, against like in a draft, I'm gonna try to think like in a limited format as well as in a constructed. In a limited format, it's actually pretty cool because you could play like an extra attack or something like that. Right? You could play it like, you know, if you play against Katsu or playing against Arachne, right, you could basically have another attack action, which might be really useful, or attack reaction in Assassin, which might be really useful. Overall, though, really cool card at Majestic. Definitely goes well with some of the spike attack reactions that we're going to see, and we'll talk about here later. So really cool card, Infiltrate. The next one was spoiled by, I'm not going to mispronounce the name, but it was spoiled by a creator that did both the new Arachne and Prowl, which we'll go by next. They were the second person in the creator list, if you want to go check them out. But they spoiled Arachne's new name, new ability, which is your first attack with stealth each turn gains go again. This is actually really good for Blitz, right? To be able to do stuff like Infiltrate with Go Again and then come in with like a Leave No Witness, right? If you block with 2 cards and then attack for 7, or come in with like a 7 or 3 Dominate Go Again, maybe attack react it, and then play out, I don't know, a Leave No Witness or a Plunder the Poor or something like that. Just really cool things you could do with this hero. What I'm seeing already is like run like half the list, or most half of the list is stealth and the other half is contract, and be able to banish cards. Now you won't get the op that you normally get, right, with old Arachne, but you will get the banishing that the contract cards still give. So really cool flexibility with the hero. And I'm really excited to build this in Blitz and play it out. Next one was Prowl, which is also spoiled by the same creator. Has stealth, attacks for 3. The next attack with stealth you play, this combat chain gains +1. So again, this is really good with Arachne's new ability. Play this out for 3, and then play out like an Infiltrate for 4, right? So you're basically given an automatic buff, which is really good. They block 3 as per usual, which is really nice. And yeah, a really good, solid card. The next one is Hurl. Apologies for it being a little bit too high. Hurl. So Hurl was spoiled by Steelford. Steelford's a really good creator. Spoiled on his YouTube channel. And it is an assassin and ninja attack action card. As an additional cost to play Hurl, you may pay one, so you can pay one as you're playing it. When you do, it gains when this attacks, target dagger you control deals 1 damage to target hero. If damage is dealt this way, the dagger is hit. Destroy the dagger. Okay, so I won't go too deep into this because this is going to be an entirely different YouTube video, but basically there's several cards in this set, both for ninja and assassin, that basically cause your dagger to deal a point of damage that also counts as a hit, and it destroys that dagger. So the two things you have to take away without going to the main video, which we'll talk about later this week, once I kind of see all the cards, is one, there's going to be some type of way to do dagger recursion because the legendary arms piece for ninja and assassin, which we'll get to here in a second, flick knives, allows you to basically target daggers and do the same thing over and over. Which is really nice. And two, this is a really cool way to like make mask momentum stay on. Like if you Kadachi and then attack with Hurl, and let's say they block out Hurl, or you think they're going to block Hurl, you can pay 1 to dagger, and the dagger will count as a hit, so it keeps mask momentum alive at least. And it also allows you to deal a point of damage late game when they're at 1 or 2 life, right? Like if you have a ninja or assassin that's running these type of cards, you really can't go down to 1 life unless you're like an Oldheim, right? And because you can't prevent damage as easy, or unless you're playing Oasis or something crazy. But even then, you're gonna have to target that dagger. So really cool card, really cool concept. It's gonna be really interesting to see how it goes. I wonder if there's gonna be a ninja card that's like a token weapon or a majestic weapon that is like throwing knives that come back to your can be recurred back from your sideboard. I think that'd be really cool. But we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, that was Steelford's spoiler. Sorry if I had to keep changing the ratio. Some of these were like different than others. The next one is Short and Sharp. This was revealed by Fiendel Hobby. Fiendel Hobby revealed this. It's a common assassin ninja attack reaction. Choose one. Target dagger gains +3, or target attack action card with 2 or less base gains +3. So this is basically a Razor Reflex. It does allow you to, you gotta make sure you don't get tripped up on the wording, because it says target attack action card with 2 or less base power gains +3, not just 2 or less base, which is how I read it the first time I read it. It's really easy to screw up. So I wish this didn't say base. If it said 2 or less, then this is a better Razor Reflex. But right now, it's really just a worse Razor Reflex. But for limited purposes, it's going to be really solid. A good attack reaction to have in your deck, especially if you're running like an Arachne or a Katsu in Blitz. You're basically going to, or not Blitz, but limited, which is like a Blitz style format. You're basically going to have a way to buff your attacks, which is really nice. We then had Spreading Plague. This is one of my favorite cards so far, just playing with Uzuri a little bit for fun on Talishar. I really like this. I like the Bloodrock token archetype. And this is really cool in Uzuri. So this was spoiled by Teklo Foundry. And it basically is an assassin attack reaction. It says create X Bloodrock box tokens under the defending hero's control, where X is the number of defending cards this chain link. So what you're already starting to see with people is against Uzuri is either they won't block at all, or they'll block for 6, because they know that 9 times out of 10, the attack that you're going to swap in is a 6 power attack, or you're going to give a 3 power stealth +3. So they block for 6. The cool thing about this is you can just attack react with this and give them 2 Bloodrock box tokens, which if they can't pitch for it at the end of their turn is going to deal 4 damage, right? So really cool for that. Like you basically strip 2 cards from their hand, and they still probably deal 4 damage unless they just pass and like pitch 2 blues. So unless you're playing like a Guardian, this is going to be really easy damage. I could see this also being used just like in like a really slow control Arachne list possibly. You play like a surgical extraction, they block with 2 cards, like over blocking, trying to not let you shred it, and then you just play this. So really cool card. One of my favorite cards that's been spoiled so far. And then we talk about the big one. So this is an Assassin Ninja Equipment Arm Legendary. It's once per turn attack reaction. Costs nothing to do. target dagger you control that isn't on the active chain link deals 1 damage to the target hero. Now make sure that's control, not own. Control is on like on a zone. Own is like from sideboard. If damage is dealt this way, the dagger is hit. Destroy that dagger. So again, this can be done over and over. The problem is currently right now, there's no way to recur daggers back from your sideboard, because the way most people are saying this is going to work, and the way that Star City Games, who revealed this, explained, is there's going to be a way where you're going to be able to take, so like let's say you destroy both daggers, they're out. You can't bring those 2 specific daggers back. However, you could have daggers in your sideboard, and there's probably going to be a card that's going to allow you to bring those daggers from your sideboard, so then you can use this again. Or there might just be a throwing dagger that can automatically come back from sideboard. Maybe when destroyed, it goes to your sideboard, and then you can bring it back next turn or something. Who knows? But if there is a way to consistently bring daggers back into the game, right? You could play a control style list and just keep poking people, which is really, really nice. It's basically like an automatic 1 damage every time if they can't prevent it, every time you attack, as long as you have a dagger on the field. So really cool. It sucks that it's blade break. I hate that. I know this is like, you can use this as much as possible, but this is a legendary equipment. I think it's funny, and if anyone from LSS is watching this, like, it's just an opinion. It's funny how breaking skills is a common equipment that's battle worn 1. Yes, it's one-time use, but battle worn 1, and it can give a combo card +1. This is a legendary equipment, not a common, and it has blade break. It's just interesting to me that it doesn't have battle worn. Like Breeze Rider Boots has battle worn at Majestic, Breaking Scales has battle worn at common. All of the ninja equipment, literally all of it, has battle worn at their respective levels, right? It's just really interesting to me that they decided to make this blade break, but to each their own. Not sure on that, but it's fine. But Star City Games was the one who spoiled that. Then we have Sedation Shot. This one was funny because people were like changing the wording to this and like spoofing it, so it's cool we actually get to see the real one. This was spoiled by Fable Gaming HK. It's a Ranger action arrow. It's a Ranger arrow. Arrows can only be played from Arsenal. 1 cost, and it says if Sedation Shot has an aim counter, it has +1. When it hits a hero, create an inertia token under their control. This is going to be really good for Riptide, since he can give aim counters with his token weapon Barb Castaway pretty consistently. And coming in as a 1 for 6 on hit, create an inertia token. And for anyone that's not 100% aware, inertia tokens basically prohibit your opponent from arsenaling at the end of the turn, which is really, really nice. And a really cool way to like prohibit your opponent from like setting up 5-card hands. They basically it's basically like a seek and destroy is the best way to put it. So Sedation Shot by Fable Gaming HK, really solid, cool artwork as well, like more of like a Riptide-esque looking artwork, so really cool there. Then we had Stab Wound. This was my second favorite ninja card that was shown, even though it's an Assassin Ninja. My second favorite ninja card shown today. It's a 0 pitch, or 0 cost, sorry, 3 pitch, blue, block 3, which is perfect for Katsu. This is also going to be used in Fi, to be quite honest. When it hits a hero, they lose X life, where X is the number of times a dagger has hit this combat chain. So if you Kadachi, and then play Stab Wound, and it hits, it'll deal 4 damage. So it's basically a 0 for 4. It can be threatening 0 for 4 or 0 for 3. It's a block 3. It'll be good in Kadachi Fi. It'll be useful in Katsu. Katsu, you're going to have to make the deciding factor. Do you run another set of combo blues, or do you run this? I personally like this late game, especially with Razor, because if I Kadachi Stab Wound, and they block 3 to try to prevent that with Ancestral, but they don't play for Razor because a lot of people might not, and you Razor it, and it comes in for 5, and they block 3, you deal 2 damage, and then the additional, let's say 2 from the 2 Kadachi, so you still deal 4 damage. So it's really solid for that. This was spoiled by Tekla Foundry. Yep. Stab Wound. Okay. Yep. Spreading Plague was spoiled by the Wraith Times. I apologize for that. So just going back for 10 seconds. Spreading Plague was spoiled by the Wraith Times. I can't read. It's late. I apologize. So anyone in the comments, hopefully you can delete your comment if you corrected me immediately. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? But it was spoiled by Tekla Foundry. Really good card. I'm definitely going to be running it as a blue, I think, in my Katsu list. I think it's just too good not to run. Threaten's really good late game as well. It's a really good, like, some of the things that Katsu struggles with, super late game, if the game goes super long and you're not great at pitch stacking, or maybe you didn't get a chance to pitch stack well, is your blues don't do anything. They don't threaten anything. They're just like 2 damage, 1 damage, whatever. This at least can threaten maybe 4. So really good for that. But yeah. Then you have Scale Peeler. This was spoiled by U Motivo. And it is a assassin weapon dagger, has piercing 1, just like Spider Bite. Once per turn action, 2 resources go again. When it hits a hero, the next time they defend with 1 or more equipment this turn, that equipment gets -1 while defending. So you're going to see a trend here. All the daggers give something -1 if it hits the next time it defends with. One is Spider's Bite, obviously, which is attack actions. You have Scale Peeler, which is equipment. And then you have 2 more, which we'll see here in a second. One affects reaction cards and one affects non-attack. So you'll be able to like pick what tool you want. As you can see, the next one, just like Scale Peeler, as you can see, it affects equipment. The next time it's defended with, it gets -1. Orbital Cast has all the same traits, except it affects non-attack actions. So if this hits, then it gets -1. The really cool thing about this is, let's just say you're running Scale Peeler and Orbital Cast because they're one-handed daggers together, and you dagger, and they take both daggers. Now, the next equipment they defend with gets -1, and the next non-attack action they defend with gets -1. So really good for like the dagger mentality. If you're playing like Orbital Cast and Spider's Bite, that means and they let both hit, that means all attack and non-attack actions in their hand block for less than 1 less than next time they're blocked. Then you have Orbital Cast was spoiled by Alan Lube. Really cool channel. Definitely go check that out. Then you have Malign, an assassin action attack stealth damage that would be damage that would be dealt by Malign cannot be prevented. So Crown Seeds, anything that's like a prevention mechanic cannot be used against it, which is really nice. This was spoiled by Arc, and overall it's just good. It's a good stealth attack. The not being prevented is really nice, but really this is just going in your like slew of reds that you're going to be running at stealth for Uziri. And you'll be running this in Blitz Arachne because they have Go again, which is really nice. So overall, really solid red block 3, kind of like the slew of stealth cards that they have at their disposal. Then you have Wreak Havoc. This was one of the like premier arts in a lot of the marketing assets that people saw. It ended up being spoiled by the Rad Brad. And Wreak Havoc is defense reactions can't be played to Wreak Havoc's chain link at all, which is really cool. When it hits a hero, you may turn a card in the arsenal face up, then destroy a defense reaction in the arsenal. So it's like, I mean, it's not like a Command and Conquer, but it can potentially be a Command and Conquer. At least it has a no defense reaction that Command and Conquer has. So overall, really good at rare, like really solid with Uziri. You might even run this in Arachne. It's a good like sideboard 6 power 2 at generic for the Dromai matchup or any other illusionist freaking 6 power popper things we need. This set has a ton of 6 power attacks, forewarning, so this is one of the stronger ones, really good. Then you have Redback Shroud, which was spoiled by Flake. Watch Flake, 983 Media, who has casted a slew of Flesh and Blood events. It's a legendary assassin equipment. While Redback Shroud is in your graveyard, at the start of your turn, you may destroy 2 silver. You get to equip it back. So it works just like Max Compare Edition or Black Tech Whispers. Its ability is attack reaction, destroy Redback Shroud. The next attack reaction card you play this turn costs 1 less to play. So this is more going to be used in Arachne, at least initially, because right now Uziri really has very little way to gain silver. So Tunic is definitely going to be the preferred chess piece into Uziri. You could argue in a very, very aggro Arachne list, or if you're playing an aggro matchup where you're going to get a lot of silver because they're not blocking a ton, this might be useful because it blocks 1 and it doesn't break when it blocks because it has Battle 1, and then you might be able to get it back. So Really good. Really, it just depends. It'll allow you to play Spike with Bloodrots for free, but at the same time, it's like Tunic counter kind of does the same thing. If you can get this back twice in a game, the thing with this card that's interesting at Legendary is like Tunic does what this does, except this is going to allow you to block maybe once or twice, 2 or 3 times more. Like Tunic blocks once and it's done. The benefit to this card is if you can get it back, let's say 2 times in a game, so 3 total times, it's going to block for 3 if you block with it, and it'll give you 3 resources. So that can be useful. I think, honestly, this is not as good as a Tunic unless you can get it back 3 times. If you can play it 3 times and use it 3 times and block with it 3 times, then it might be better than Tunic because you're getting 3 block out of it and 3 resources. But if you can't do that, I think Tunic's still better, but it's really cool. Like, having a full Assassin suite of equipment now is really fun. Like, being able to run Mask Paradine, Redback Shroud, Flick Knives, and Black Tech Whispers is really cool thematically. Then we have Destructive Deliberation. This one was spoiled by Sunflower Samurai. When it hits a hero, create a Ponder token. It's a 2 for 5. It's a really interesting card. I don't know. I mean, you could use this in Uziri, obviously. That's like the easy answer. I don't know what else you'd use it because it's not a 6 power, so like Levia's not going to want to run it. Reinhardt's not going to want to run it. 2 for 5 is technically under rate, but you do get the Ponder token, which is nice. Just kind of a standard generic, really. Nothing too crazy, but the artwork is sick. Like, that's such a cool artwork. Definitely unique. And it'd be interesting to see where they take design space cards like this and like what the standard of these is in Flesh and Blood. So really excited about that though. Then you have Virulent Touch, which was spoiled by my buddies over at the Push the Point. Hamish and them, really good people. Definitely go give them a follow, give them a sub. The artwork on this is insane. This is like the grimiest, dirtiest, craziest artwork that we've had yet in the game. Like, I don't think you can name one that's better. Maybe Shred is obviously just as equal, but the detail and like the realistic look of this is pretty nuts. But Virulent Touch cannot be played from hand, so it's similar to Death Touch. It has to be played from Arsenal or like flipped in with Uziri. When this chain link resolves, if Virulent Touch is defended by a card from hand, create a Bloodrock Pox token under defending hero's control. So this works really well. Like, if you play a card with Stealth, they block with 1 card just to block out the Stealth, especially late game. You flip Uziri, you flip this in, it'll probably hit for 1 unless they have a defense reaction, and it'll create a Bloodrock Pox. So not too bad. Really solid card at common. Then you have Nerve Scalpel. Nerve Scalpel was spoiled by X Flesh and Blood X, who's done a couple spoilers up to this point. He always does the one thing with how he can get cards out of sleeves. I don't know how he entered it. It's totally random. He is able to like bounce his hand where cards come out of sleeves. Some crazy trick I've never been able to do. But he does really cool videos. A lot of like openings and like top down stuff. So definitely go check him out. This is similar to other dagger weapons. This is once per turn, 2 resources go again with piercing 1, attacks for 1. When it hits a hero, the next time they defend with 1 or more reaction cards this turn, those cards have -1 while defending. Really good against like Dory, against other reaction-based heroes, maybe like Uziri, or even Arachne, something like that. So really, really good for that overall. So having this, or below cast, scale peeler, all of these, like, you can have a whole plethora of these in your list and be able to like have the right tool for the right situation, which is really, really cool. Then we have Bleed Out. Bleed Out was spoiled by Ethnic Smoke. This is a really cool card. It's interesting for Ninja and Assassin because it's a Ninja Assassin attack action. It normally costs 2 for 4 with Go Again, but it costs 1 less for each point of damage that you've dealt with a dagger. So Kodachis are daggers. So we'll talk about Ninja for a second. If you Kodachi, they both hit, you can play Bleed Out for free, 0 for 4 Go Again. If you play Kodachi, they let 1 hit, and they block the second one normally, then this is a 1 for 4 Go Again. So basically, like, it's pretty good. It doesn't combo in anything, which is kind of the interesting part for Katsu. Like, maybe this is just a good starter you can run. It's not really a starter, though. It's something you're going to want to play on Chain Link 3, probably. But overall, not too bad, honestly. Like, pretty solid. I wish it was a block 3, though. Even though it has Go Again, I wish it was a block 3, but beggars can't be choosers. And for Assassin, it's pretty cool. You can play this off of blue, because if you dagger once, most of the time they're not going to block that burst Spider Bite. They let it hit with the 1 resource floating, and you then play Bleed Out for 4 Go Again. So really solid for that. Maybe you have 2 cards and you kept 1 card in Arsenal, and you can like take advantage of it that way. This also can be flipped in with Uziri if you wanted to flip it in with Uziri as well for free. Then you have Amnesia. Okay, this card was... Alright, so first it was spoiled by Pitch Perfect Pod. Insane card. I don't know how the rules work with this card. We're going to read it for a second, then we'll talk about it. This is arguably the most powerful card in the set that I've seen so far. I can be wrong. In the comments, let me know if you think I'm crazy. But the way I read the card and the way the rules work currently in the game, this card is stupid. So, 2 costs, 6 power, 3 block. When this hits a hero, cards and tokens they own lose and can't game their names until the start of their next turn. So that means any card that they play, if this hits, doesn't have a top bar. That's the best way to look at it. Does not have a top bar. So what does that mean? That means in the case of Katsu, if Katsu plays Surging Strike and then tries to play a Whelming Gust Wave will not see Surging Strike because Surging Strike doesn't have a name. It was just a 2 for 5. That's it. Because the way Whelming Gust Wave reads, if Surging Strike was the last attack this combat chain, there was no card name this last combat chain. It was just a 2 for 5. So it shuts off combo, completely kills combo. But the other thing is when cards refer to themselves on hit effects. So you have Crippling Crush, for example. Crippling Crush reads its crush effect. If Crippling Crush deals 4 or more damage, discard 2 cards, right? 2 random cards or whatever, 2 cards. Well, if Crippling Crush hits, right, is the way it reads. So to me, and I hope they do a rules clarification here, that means that there is no name if nothing. Because yes, Crippling Crush hit, but it's not Crippling Crush anymore. It's just an 11 power Guardian attack. So there's no crush effect. That's the way I read it. Now, I think the point that most people are talking about is if a card refers to itself as this card gains or whatever, right? So, like, I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head, off the bat. Another one that, like, doesn't refer to this, but refers to itself like Savage Beatdown. If you discard 6 power or more when playing Savage Beatdown gains +6 or whatever it is. It's not named Savage Beatdown anymore, so it doesn't get its buff at all. Anyway, but there are some cards that refer to like this card gains Go Again or this card gains X. Is this referring to itself like this card? Is that a name, right? And the way the rules read, how I read them, is it doesn't gain its name. So it's going to be really, really interesting on that point. I don't know how they're going to go about doing this. I don't know if it's just cards that actually name themselves 100% or cards that also name themselves as this card X. It does X. Does that also count? At any rate, even cards that just name themselves, this card is stupid. Like it shuts off Crippling Crush by my understanding. It shuts off Savage Beatdown. It shuts off Combo and Katsu. It shuts off all types of cards, right? Pretty nutty. Anything that has to do with naming it's that top bar, it kills. So really powerful card. At generic, you can flip it in with Uziri. You can play it most decks as a sideboard card, in my opinion, that care about it. It's going to be a really wide use card. Really powerful card. You then have Blade Cuff, which was spoiled by... I'm going to say, why do you got to make it? I don't want to say it wrong. HB. I'm just going to say HB. HB. Breezy's significant other. Wonderful human. I am sorry that I am mispronouncing your @ but AYCHHBEE. Ashby. I'm going to say Ashby. Ashby is how you pronounce it. I've never actually asked her or Breezy how they pronounce that @ At any rate, she got to reveal Blade Cuff, which is an Assassin Ninja equipment at common. It's an action, 2 resources, destroy Blade Cuff. Your daggers gain +1 until end of turn. This is really cool, and especially in limited, right? For Katsu, if Kodachis are the signature weapon, which they might not be, but if they were, like they come in for 2 and 2. The daggers for Arachne or Uzuri would come in for 2 and 2. Really cool. So like if you have a 5-card hand, you're gonna be able to pitch for both daggers. Like coming in for 2 and it's late game, maybe you're low on life. Being able to pitch 2 and 2 is really nice, especially at common. So pretty solid card. Really cool artwork, like the hidden blade type thing. Really cool overall. And then we have Toxicity. Toxicity was spoiled by Alpha Investments. The next Assassin or Ranger attack action cards you play this turn gains. When this hits a hero, they lose 5 health. Okay, this is really good in Assassin because you can play this and then maybe Uziri it in, or play this, then play an Isolate, which has Dominate, and then if they don't have a defense reaction, you Uziri in something else. It's like a 6 power and get it to hit. So like they lose 3 from not being able to play a defense reaction. Or let's say it's played 1 defense reaction, lose 2, but then lose an additional 5. Where this is also going to be really cool is Azalea. I think it'd be cool in Azalea because you're able, if you can dominate an arrow, like imagine dominating like a headshot and they can't block it. Or let's say you have something in Arsenal, you draw up, you have a read the glide path, read the glide path, you see an arrow in Arsenal that you think you can get to hit with dominate, Azalea it in, play this out first, and then play out your dominated arrow and potentially like deal like 8, 9, 10 damage, right? Really, really powerful. Even something like sedation shot, right? Being able to possibly get the +1 buff on that. It comes in for 6 dominate. Let's just say they block with 1 defense reaction for 4, and then they lose 5 health, right? Like, I think this is really good. Like, you still deal 7 damage, even with them giving defense reaction. So, overall, really, really good. I like this a lot. And, yeah, it was spoiled by Alpha Investments. And then we have Gorelching. This is such an interesting card, spoiled by Mansant. 7 power, 0 cost, doesn't block, generic. When this attacks, reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal an attack action card. If you do, banish it. It gets negative power where X is the base of the card banished this way. Otherwise, it gets -7. This is an interesting card. It's really funny because like this technically could become a 0 for 6. Like this really funny card because like when this attacks, right? And I don't know. It could be a 0 for 6. If you reveal a 3 power, it's a 0 for 4. If you reveal a 4 power, it's a 0 for 3. But it doesn't block. I don't know how good this card is going to be. I'm sure Mansant and how good he is going to make a way for it to be good in Levia. I'm assuming that's what he was thinking. But overall, like it's really interesting card. Really cool though. Like Gorelching, like such a cool card. Really awesome. But yeah, that was spoiled by Mansant. I'm almost 100% positive it was. Okay, then next we have Sneak Attack, which was spoiled by the Table Pit. Sneak Attack is an assassin attack action. If you've played or activated an attack reaction, this chain link, it gains +4. So this is really good in Uziri. So if you play a stealth attack and then Uziri ability this in, it sees Uziri's ability as an attack reaction and gains +4. So it's basically a 2 for 7. It's going to be a really good value for Uziri. If you play pummels, you could technically pummel this too. And it'd be really good. But yeah, 2 for 7, very above rate, or you're starting to get in a wounding bull level of value. So overall, really good card. Then we have Cut Down to Size, which was spoiled by my buddy Breezy. Generic attack. When this hits a hero, if they have 4 or more cards in hand, they discard a card. I see this being really useful for Uziri. Like if you play a 3 power stealth and they're like, screw you, I'm not blocking. Especially like aggro hero like Katsu. You Uziri this in, hit for 6, and then all of a sudden they have to discard a card and they got dealt 6 damage. So it's almost like they blocked with a card for 0 is the way I look at it. So really solid card. 2 for 6. It's at 2 block though. I wish this was 3 block, but with the discard effect, I understand why it's not. Then we have Humble. Humble was spoiled by the Fab Workshop. When it hits a hero, they lose all hero abilities until the end of the next turn. Treat the hero card as if its text box was empty. There's other cards in the game that do something similar to this. This is like a Dishonor ability, but for 1 turn, or a Sleep Dart, I think it is. Yep, Sleep Dart for Ranger. It's basically like that. Basically, you just turn off their hero, which we already know is pretty good into some heroes. Heroes like Dromai, Uziri even will be really good against Katsu. You can't Katsu trigger, all types of stuff. So really good, really solid card. And then we have Paradine, I think is how you pronounce it. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. They did 3 spoilers, basically all the traps for Riptide, which are really cool. They're Bloodrock, Inertia, and Frailty. So when this defends an attacking hero, and the attacking hero is played or activated a reaction, this chain link, create a Bloodrock Pox token under their control. So if Uziri decides to do Uziri stuff and you defense react with this, it'll give her a Bloodrock Pox token. Same thing with Frailty, it'll give her a Frailty token. And then Inertia gives her an Inertia token. All really awesome art. Really cool stuff here. Really grungy, grimy. Reminds me of like Arcane and Flesh and Blood, which is really dope. Or not in Flesh and Blood, in League of Legends, which is really dope. But really cool cards spoiled by them. And then finally we have 2 more. Premeditate. Premeditate is a generic action spoiled by, I believe, Dead Summer Art, if I'm doing this correctly. I believe it was Dead Summer Art. I hope I am correct on that one. But Outsider 161, this might not be Dead Summer Art. I forgot who this is off the top of my head, but definitely go check it out on the page. I apologize if I did not get it correct. I'll try to look it up while we're talking about it. But the next time an attack action card hits a hero this turn, create a Ponder token. Next action card you play from Arsenal this turn gains +3. So being able to give your attack actions from Arsenal +3 is pretty good. It is at a 2 block, which I wish it was at a 3 block. But overall, like, not too big of a deal. This ended up being spoiled. If we can just open up their YouTube channel real quick. Stackswell is the one who spoiled this. Really cool video. Go check it out. Apologies for not remembering that one. But yeah, spoiled by Stackswell. Overall, really cool. And then finally, Dead Summer Art spoiled Code of Inertia, which we'll back up here real fast. But Code of Inertia was spoiled. Back it up one more time by Dead Summer Art. It's similar to Codex of Frailty or Codex of Bloodrot. Each hero puts the top card of their deck face down to their arsenal. Each hero that does that discards a card. Create a Ponder token under your opponent control and an Inertia token under their control as well. Or a Ponder token under your control, Inertia token on theirs. It's going to be really interesting to see who uses these type of cards. I don't know how good or bad they actually are. I like the Bloodrock Pox one, but we'll have to see how all of them do. But overall, really solid cards. And then as we were talking here, I can do one bonus one. Arsenal Pass just revealed theirs. Let's see if it'll open for me perfectly here. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. It did. Sweet. So this is Arsenal Pass's card. It's a generic Majestic. While Down and Dirty is in your arsenal, you may defend with it, which is really interesting. So they're starting to give attack actions that you defend with. It's a 2 for 6 that you can defend with from Arsenal. That's pretty cool. Gives you an extra defense when needed. Which is really interesting, honestly. So that is theirs as well, Down and Dirty, from Arsenal Pass. But yeah, that's all of them so far. I try to get through all of them. There's definitely, like I said, go down the description below. You have this and the February link that'll give you the description. Go follow all these amazing creators, please. Mean a lot to all of them to be able to do that. They all work super hard on their spoilers, and they're definitely well-deserved. But yeah. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this. This was a marathon. I think literally this is the longest video I've ever done. I'm not even going to lie. It might be. But I try to get through these pretty quickly so you can at least have one all-encompassing place to see them. And yeah, hopefully, if you made it to this video, you're a real one. Comment down below if you made it in this video, because that's pretty nutty. I will literally, I don't know, I'll find something for someone who did it this long. Join Discord down below. Join the Patreon if you want. It's really cool. Some cool ideas, cool benefits for you as a sub to be able to use in that. And then also subscribe to the channel if you want to. And I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. Thank y'all so much. Have a nice day.